What is up guys, Brett here from Mtek Digital, and today we're going to be taking a look at your camera and how to change the settings to be optimal for video and production afterwards. Now it's important to note that I will be using the Canon T4i, but the settings that I'm changing can be changed on pretty much any DSLR. You just have to have a look for how to access those settings. But once you do that, you can do the same thing that I'm doing to get similar image results. It depends on your camera, your sensor, the settings, all that stuff. But the base of what we're doing today is mimicking cinema cameras so that when we go into programs like Premiere or After Effects, we have a little bit more control of what the final result looks like. And that being said, you're going to get better quality end products. So the first thing we're going to do is have a look at the picture style. We're going to create our own picture style that's going to be saved into the camera so you can swap back and forth between standard and this flat style that we create. So let's jump on over to the camera, have a look at how we're going to do that, and then I'll show you a little bit of a before and after comparison. Alright, so like I said, we're going to be changing the picture style on our camera here. What we want to do is, once the camera's turned on, hit the menu button. Then we're going to make sure we're on the second menu option and just click into picture style. Once we've done that, you're probably going to be on auto or standard, but what we want to do is head over to user defined number 1 and then hit the info button. This is going to let us actually change the picture style, and if you are on the first user one and you haven't changed anything, this will probably be in the middle, and these settings will all be pretty much also in the middle. And what we want to do is actually change the sharpness down to 0, bring the contrast down to as low as it can go, as well as the saturation, and leave the color tone to 0 as well. Once we're done that, we can just hit the menu button to head back and make sure again we're selected, and we'll see that the picture style is now user defined number 1. So let's head over to some comparison shots and just have a look at what that did for our camera. Alright, so we've taken care of the picture style for the camera, and what we're going to do now is have a look at the frame rate. Frame rate is quite important only because it's going to change how the picture actually looks. It's either going to look more realistic or less realistic to whoever's watching it, and that is simply because frame rate affects how much motion blur is going to be present in your video. Again, we're going to jump on over to the camera, I'll show you how to change those settings, and then I'll show you a little bit of a before and after comparison. Alright, so we're going to have a look now at how to change the frame rate of the camera. Just hit the menu button like we did before and head over to the 5th menu option. And we're going to see the first selection we have is movie recording size. We're just going to click into there, and we can see that my camera has 4 different options. And what we want to do is typically have it set to either 30 frames or 24 frames a second at 1920. This is giving you the ability to either have on 30 frames a second a little bit more of a crisp image, or 24 frames a second is going to give you a little bit more motion blur. Now 24 frames a second has a little bit more of a cinematic feel to it, whereas 30 frames has a little bit more of a fantasy feel, I guess if you could say. We can also see that we've got 60 frames a second here, which can be used as slow motion. What we'll do though is have a look at the 30 frames and the 24 frames comparison now. That is it it, guys. We now have a camera that's a little bit more useful than it was right out of the box by changing the picture style and the frame rate. I hope you learned something from this video, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. If you did, you can leave a like. You can also comment down below if you've got any problems or concerns or questions. Also, hit me up on Twitter as usual. That's probably the best way to get to me, as I respond fairly quickly on there. Don't forget to subscribe to Mtek Digital to stay up to date with tech tips, interviews, SEO, all that sort of stuff. But other than that, guys, I will see you all next week.